So my number 2, I'm gonna have to say, is 2013 versus the Florida Gators. And the reason why, it was one of my first times going to a rivalry game in Miami. And Al Folden came up with this whiteout thing that we were going to do. It's what they do at Penn State. And so he wanted to wear white as a team at home. And Florida refused to wear their home jerseys in Miami. So then we had to switch, and that's when we came out with the all orange, because Florida showed up in all white. And so the fans, if you ever look at the game, and it's a completely different, it was Sunlight Stadium back then. It's completely different look. I mean, it was nothing over top of us, sun beaming straight down on us, and we're all in white as fans.
I remember that game.
Yeah, and this is when they come out the tunnel for warm-ups, and we're all like, wait, aren't they supposed to be in white? It was the first time we ever debuted the all-orange uniforms. And, of course, we had the white helmet, but it was all orange jersey, orange pants, with the white and orange accessories is what Al Golden loved. He loved the white socks and white and orange cleats, which was a switch up for us here at Miami because we were big on the black cleats, black socks thing, which to me, I didn't think it was wins or losses. But then when people picture the University of Miami, they think of the traditional white helmet, the orange top, white pants, black cleats, black socks. And if you switch any of that stuff up, people think you're messing with the juju. Anyway, we come out. So they come out, and eventually everybody was talking, and we're like, they initially start booing because they were upset that we thought we were going to do the whole all white thing, but eventually that went away. It was probably only a couple hundred of us in the stands at that point. And so we realized once Florida players came out, what the problem was, and back then it was all about the Facebook groups that we were in that was explaining what happened, you know, from the message boards and screenshots and all that type of stuff. So eventually we all understood that Florida basically gave us a proverbial kiss our buttocks, and then we had to instantly switch uniforms. And so we're playing the game, and early on in the game, we did a play action. And Philip Dorsett had Vernon Hargraves by 25 yards. I mean, if this was one of those where you were playing NCAA and you had your player at 99 speed and the other guy was at like 81, and you literally called the play action bomb, but it turned out to be a deep post split and cover 2. And so the safeties were nowhere to be found, and it was wide open, boom, and the crowd went bonkers. I mean, we were throwing stuff in the air like we won the Super Bowl. It was crazy. And I like spilled my soda on the lady next to me, but anyway, it's all right. And so I was so excited. Then the next drive comes out, and Matt Jones, who was the running back at the time, about 6'2", 230-pound running back from Florida. He was a big dude, long dreadlock, and he's going off on a 24 stretch. And so, and back then, this is when I was still like big into my science and learning it. So I had the end zone cut, and we're running a 34, but a 34 over at the time. So we call a play where the whole D-line slants. And so Denzel Perryman is coming off. And so they all slant to the right, and Denzel Perryman is coming opposite and filling where they are. Perfect call against the perfect run. Like we predicted that they were going to go to this 24 stretch. And so if you ever watch the game, you literally see him and Denzel. It's like they were mirroring each other. And he came with the ball high, and Denzel put his helmet right on the ball and popped it straight up. Curtis Porter falls on the ball. Number 96, Curtis Porter falls on the ball. And he was a redshirt senior guy who we had been waiting to show us anything for being a Miami Hurricane. He hadn't done anything up until that point. He falls on the ball. What do you think the crowd does again? Goes bananas. So we're going crazy. The very next play we get on offense, post corner to Herb Waters. And it was just like, it was nothing. You couldn't hear yourself think. You know, I was on the 50th row, so I'm in the bowl, you know, and hearing all the sound and screaming. And, of course, Miami goes on to win the game. And we gave up like a fluke touchdown at the end. But Duke Johnson finished it off with a run play up the middle, off the edge, and scored a touchdown. And Anthony Chickalo finished the game with a sack that forced the referee, because we had them stacked up and it was 10 seconds left. And so they kept trying to let us play. And then Driscoll throws the ball, but they had already called him down. So then no one ran back for them to clock the ball. And when they tried to clock it, the game was over. And we figured that they were going to try to, screw us over. So then when the referee came on the intercom and said, "Oh, ball game's over." Oh, man. And to see Al Golden do the interview and then run over to the student section for fans and students that had stuck with him since he got there with back-to-back 6 or 7 win seasons before that, getting blown out by K-State, the last big team that we had played, and to beat an in-state rival in the way that we did, so aggressive and forcing turnovers and interceptions and sacks and bombs. And, I get emotional about it because I was there, but it was amazing to see a guy who we all thought was like this snob, stuck-up dude run over there and like start pointing at the students and like hugging them and shaking hands. And then the teams behind him all run like full sprinting to the student section. And it was just a beautiful sight to see, man. And I tell people I didn't cry, but yeah, I cried. I was just so into that. And 2013 was my senior football season, but I graduated the next spring, of course. So spring of 14. High school. But man, it was just an amazing opportunity, and it felt great because we had not had that at Miami in so long, where we're on national TV against a rival. No one expected us to win it. Everyone picked us to lose on ESPN, and we came out and basically handled them. That would be my number 2. My number 1 has to be 2017 in Doak Campbell Stadium when we broke the streak. I've talked crazy about that one because here in the dorms at North Dakota State University, still have the paperwork to prove that I got that noise complaint, a bunch of them. But hey, oh well. I was able to take my fine because to win the game and the way that we did, the fate to Daryl Langham, the way that the defense played and kept us in that game, because we struggled offensively. I mean, we had 13 first downs the entire game. That should tell you how bad it was. I mean, it was like hit or miss, big play or nothing. And the defense held us down, and we rewarded them on the offensive side of the ball with a fade route. And Daryl Langham came down with the touchdown.
I remember both of those games because I typically want to see all the big games. So I see Miami play Florida State every year, and obviously they only get together with Florida once in a while, and there are some pretty serious feelings on both sides about that rivalry in particular, different than the Florida State rivalry because of the games, again, being spaced out and Florida not choosing to play Miami for a long time. So I remember that the Florida game that you mentioned, the heat being a huge factor in that game, the sun beating down, the choice of the white uniforms. And I remember, as you explained it, I didn't remember it in that kind of detail, but I remember that the 52-yarder to Dorsett. I'm looking at the box score right here. Rayshon Jenkins and Tracy Howard had interceptions in that game.
And see,
ran for 59.
That was huge for Brumman. Oh, Brumman is Tracy Howard. It's big for Tracy Howard because he was the sophomore phenom. He's a freshman that we were like, he's the number 1 corner in the country. We made some plays 2012. But 2013 as a sophomore was his very best. And Florida was the team that everyone knew he was going to. I mean, he had one of the – it was supposed to be the game-saving interception in the national championship, in the state championship game of Miramar High School versus Tampa Plant. But then it ended up not winning the game. And after he got the pick, he did the Gator chop. So we all in South Florida and everyone who was watching the game like, man, we lost another one to Florida. Then on National Signing Day, he put up the U. We had not seen him play to that level until this very game. And when he got that interception and almost took it back, I mean, I think it was about a 30-yard return or something like that. And it was on a route where he was supposed to be in cover 3. It was cover 3. and he was supposed to back up in deep thirds, but they ran a post corner and a curl up underneath it, like they read the cover 3, and so he was pushing back, and eventually the safety realized it, so the safety got over top for the post corner, so he was able to come humming down on that curl route. He caught it in stride and started to take off. I mean, eventually got tackled, but if you ever watch the replay, it's like a 9-minute highlight tape that we have, and the camera started shaking because it was just going. We were going crazy in that place, man, and it brings back great memories to have seen the guys that you knew had the talent, the guys that you knew who were from the area, guys who I played against in high school at that time, now having a chance to showcase their talent on the national stage at Miami. And that's all we've ever wanted. Just give the young men a chance to play how we know that they can play.